Let me start by saying I hope everyone is well. We're living in some tough times, and a lot of people are scared and nervous and have anxiety around what is going on in this country. I would like to offer something I think is useful, ideas for how to move our people, to organize our people, to make sure our people are informed and protected, and to do it in the most practical, sustainable way. I've been around for a minute in this movement, man. I don't know everything. God knows, and I don't get everything right. That's clear. But I do know what I know, and I know what I've seen and done and experienced. And one of the things I think that we need to rethink is how we think of this idea of solving our problems, revolving around our oppression and our liberation. Why? Because you can't just jump out and do something. This ain't Nike, you just do it. Family, we talking liberation, we got to strategize and plan. Traditional conference models, you're trying to get a whole bunch of people, you're trying to fill up the place, you're trying to sell tickets, you're trying to have vendors, you're trying to pay people for performances, you got a billion different keynote speakers. And I'm not knocking that. That's part of our tradition. I'm not saying we got to abandon it, but I am going to say if we want at the end of that meeting or series of meetings, if we want to be able to say we have developed a definite way to come up with workable plans, actionable plans from people who do this all the time. I'm going to use a hypothetical. Let's say, hypothetically, let's say we had Marcus Klein and Brother Walimo Baruti, and maybe myself and some others who deal with education and political education. We come up with a template for education and what that should look like and what it should involve and the logistics and how you build schools. And we work together, and our whole mission is for a set period of time. We're going to work together, just the three of us. See the difference? 3, 4, no more than 5 of us, and educational experts, or these are the things that we specialize in. I want you to see the difference in what I'm saying. It's a tweak. We keep the big mass conferences because those accomplish a different set of goals. That's good for solidarity, to remind you that you're part of a nation and becoming, inspiration, supporting the local Black businesses and the vendors who travel. It's culturally reaffirming. I just happen to believe when it comes to actually coming up with answers to solutions, having 300 people in one place doesn't do it. It's too much. It's hard to manage, right? So you would have a small group of people. You would assemble your people in education or agriculture, economics, corporate business, different things, and they would have working sessions, and each would present, this is what we do, and this is how it works, and this is how you could do it, and we'd come up with, again, liberation templates. And then those point people would be charged with either traveling to different parts of this country or disseminating some of these materials electronically, I don't know, or phone calls, whatever, to meet, to get in touch with people in different parts of the country that's trying to get solve the educational crisis, trying to grow food, create their own economic enterprises, right? And then what would happen, I believe, I project that you would see these different liberation templates happening all over the country. If this doesn't make sense, I'll say it this way. Is McDonald's just in your city? No. McDonald's is all over the world. Now, what if we had Marcus Klein School or Mama Yabaruti's Aquaben Institutes, not just in Atlanta, not just in Chicago, all over the country, family? I'm saying we have to now start thinking as systems. How do we create systems that we can replicate so that Africans, new Africans all over this country and the world can benefit? But I want to get that idea out. Liberation templates. Meet with small groups. Not a lot of fanfare, not a whole lot of people. Do that when you're trying to do those other things I mentioned, but when you're trying to actually solve the problems and resolve them, get with small groups, easy to manage. These people are easy to be held accountable to each other. They develop models that we can reproduce all over the country. We have to change that dynamic. Work together, family. And at this crucial time, it's very important that we demonstrate the ability to see the world as it is, not as we want it to be, see it as it is, and bend it to our will to make it what we want it to be. We have to have the vision of what the world we want. I know, especially coming up as a young man, going to a lot, oh my God, probably thousands of conferences, political rallies, meetings, heading some of them myself, speaking at many of them, panel discussions. We tend not to get around to this vital question. What world do we want? What is that going to look like? Not what we're against, Not what the white man did and he's doing and he's this and that. At this conference, at these meetings, we're talking about what type of world do we want? Because when I'm looking at the experts on AI, these scientists, economists, most of them are predicting a very bad future for this country in the next 5 to 10 to 15 years. One guy said there's going to be 99% unemployment because of artificial intelligence. I mean, it's crazy. Now, some of it is probably exaggerated, but when we hear this as Africans and New Africans, as critical thinkers, as many of you are as educators and organizers, we need to be thinking about, whoa, if it's going to be bad like that for them, you know what it's going to be for us. So rather than wait that 5, 10, 15 years to find out and just keep complaining about the orange guy and what they're doing, why not get together with people who they spend their whole lives doing media, their whole lives doing education, paramilitary or self-defense, and get them in a room and have them talk about what they do and put it into a form where we can reproduce it and spread it like fire spreads all over the country. That is completely possible. In the digital age, we can do that. And this may be a 3-day conference, but it would be no more than 15 people there. See the difference? Ain't gonna be no fanfare. We have breaks, but this is a working conference. This is where you say, this is what I do. This is what I've demonstrated mastery in. This is my offering to the community. You give a brief breakdown what the issue is with our agricultural or our economic or our educational or our self-defense reality, and break down what you do and how what you do solves a problem, and introduce it as a liberation template that you believe if we reproduced it all over the country, it would produce satisfactory results for our people. Tangible results for our people. Not slogans, not rhetoric, tangible results. When you look at these race soldiers, racist white vigilantes, what they have in common is you may never hear them say white power. You may never hear them say slogans, but what you are going to feel is them killing us in the streets. What you're going to see is them getting into a political office and weaponizing legislation and federal and municipal funding to deprive our people of certain resources. And we can combat that, family. Even though we're an internal colony, trust me, I know we make compromised decisions every day as people who are colonizing this country, but we do not just lay down and do nothing. Nor do we think that simply talking about it, getting mad about it, rallying, marching, all this stuff is going to change the scenario. Our fight has always been twofold. We're fighting for what we want and to build the things we need, the institutions, the capacity, and we're fighting against our enemies. It's twofold. We're doing a lot of fighting against the enemies, but I'm not feeling that we're doing enough fighting for us, building the structures, the systems, the institutions that we need. And so that's what I'm talking about today. That's what this is really about, to make sure that we have a plan